Can you fully automate the process of getting customers and booking appointments for your business?
Yeah, not without spamming people and them off and just being really annoying with these like AI automated generated messages and emails.
Over the next 5 days, I'm going to do exactly that with this garden maintenance company, step by step. The important thing, if you're going to apply this to your business, is that your prospects don't feel like they're part of some automated sloppy sequence. It needs to feel human. That level of care that you always give every prospect and every client, that needs to remain consistent while we save you time.
Okay, you show me how to make a fully automated funnel while keeping the humanness so that my client or my prospect feels looked after. I'm all ears.
But what does that mean? If I'm creating a fully automated funnel for a gardener, what does that mean? That means it needs to generate them leads, warm up and start converting those leads, and then finally book in a garden visit for our gardener here without any of their time, fully automated. Ultimately, creating a predictable system for them to generate their ideal client, so it allows them to grow their business at the exact rate that they want to. Up until this point, our gardener here has had a few problems. They've been getting a mismatch of inquiries. So some months they might have loads, other months completely dead. They're also getting a lot of time wasters and just the wrong sorts of inquiries, types of people that they don't want to work with. And worst of all, they're losing track of the people they speak to, especially when they get busy. Who have they quoted? Who do they need to follow up with? And what was the last conversation they had? Now, if you can relate to any of this, don't worry. I'm Hayden Bloomfield, I run 782, and what I'm gonna do through this video is go through how I'm gonna build this fully automated funnel so you can apply it to your business too. And each day we're gonna tackle one component so that you can see step by step how you can build it for your business. When I speak to most business owners, the thing that they want for their business more than anything is new leads. No doubt you're the same, but there is a much bigger secret to growing your business that is far more powerful than just getting new leads. And it's something that I hardly see any business do. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen a business perfect this. And by the end of the video, you'll know exactly what that secret is. So stick around to find out, but let's get started building this fully automated funnel for our gardener so you can see how to do it for your business. Day one, the first thing we need to work out is who are we targeting? Who is the ideal client that we're gonna go after? Or ICP, ideal client profile. Now for you, do you have a documented ideal client for your business? Something written down of exactly who you want to work with and who you don't want to work with. To give you a bit of a comparative to compare your ideal client and how you've written that description, here is what our gardener wants for their ideal client. Firstly, they need to be based between Gravesend and Sevenoaks. In particular, there's a road called Ruton Road that goes between the two. They want people that live along there. So all the way along that road is little towns and villages, very affluent areas, and that's exactly the route that they work. Secondly, they want them to be domestic. They want busy homeowners, so the types of people that aren't generally going to be home throughout the day. And lastly, to add to that, is they want people that are going to be outcome focused. They're not going to be people that are looking at how many hours someone spent. They just want to open a door and go, oh, that's a nice garden. So what do they not want then? They do not want people that are going to be at home. So for them, the elderly, the retired, those people just aren't so ideal because they're more likely to be the next thing they don't want, and that is micromanagers. They don't want people that are going to be checking the clock when they arrive, checking the clock when they leave, and questioning every little thing that they do and how they do it. Or people that are going to be heavily involved in the garden, the type of people that are going to say, no, I want to mow the grass this week, or I want to do some deadheading, but can you do that, can you do that, can you not do that? They don't want that. So how does that compare to your ideal client? Does that give you some ideas on things you can add into what you want and what you don't want? If you're B2B, completely different thing. Like, so for us at 782, our key thing is wanting to work with service-based businesses that are either trade-based or business services. So like accountants, HR, recruitment, virtual assistants. For us, we want people that have got 5+ staff. So usually between 5 and 20 employees or team members, and been going for at least 5 years. And the cherry on top for us is seeing £100,000 in net assets on the balance sheet. So if you're B2B, these are probably the types of things that you're looking at. How long's the company been around? How many employees have they got? How healthy are they financially? What's their turnover? Things like that. And what we've learned the hard way, unfortunately, at 782, what we do not want, solopreneurs. They just don't need what we build once they start getting a team. Yes, but right now they don't need it. We also don't want new startups for similar reasons. New startups are also fighting fires, constantly changing and evolving their business model. What we want is businesses that have been around, they've got their offering so that we can help them systemize it and save them time. And also we don't want product businesses, we want service. Now we know who we want to work with. How do we get in front of them? What we want is a process that gets us right in front of our ideal client in the most efficient way possible. So that is tomorrow's task. Day 2, how do we get leads? Now that we've listed our ideal client, we need the most efficient route to go from not knowing us to know. So given in our gardeners example, they are very location specific, we want to target those specific homes on that specific road from Gravesend to Sevenoaks. What we're going to do for them is a leaflet campaign. So we're going to do a variety of leaflets and letters. With the leaflets, it's going to be simple call to action, are you looking for a gardener? Very direct. But on the reverse, what we're going to have is a colouring activity. So these are going to be printed matte, and then it's going to be like design your own garden, because these will be ideal for our gardener's ideal client, busy homeowners. They likely have children that they're having to get to school and get to clubs and stuff. And so this leaflet, if someone thinks, oh, a bit of junk, which is what most leaflets are, but we're increasing the chances they're going to give it to their kids, it'll be a colouring activity, and then that leaflet is going to have more life in that home. It might be on the fridge or in a drawer that they see again and again, reminding them of our gardener here. Next is what we call neighbour letters. So these are enveloped letters that say, dear neighbour, you open it up and it's just a small concise letter that says, we're working in the area, if you're looking for a gardener, here's some key points about us, with a call to action. And lastly, we're going to do a note. So it's the same thing as the neighbour letter, but much more concise and on a small piece of thin paper. But that's not the challenge here. So how do we call them to action? Regardless of what marketing you do and how you get your name and your brand out there, and for our gardener here, there always needs to be a really clear next step for that prospect to take. What we're going to have on these leaflets and letters is a phone number so they can get directly in touch with the gardener, and secondly, QR code or their website. We're going to have both, but either way, they're going to land on a page for our gardener, and the call to action there is going to be exactly the same. It's going to have that phone number again, but also it's going to have a form. And there's a cool little trick that we've done in the form that you'll see a bit later on that you should apply to your business, because it's a really great way to capture leads and qualify them. But before we think about that, how do we automate this process? The whole goal here is we want to create a fully automated funnel that gets leads, warms them up, and gets that meeting booked. So what we can do for the leaflets is have Royal Mail or a leaflet distributor put them out for us. Now for our gardener in this example, they're off the tools and they don't get to do much exercise these days, so they're more than happy to just go out and get their steps up and distribute the leaflets and letters. For them, this is a small experiment to begin with, and if it works really well, they can start investing more in it. So bear that in mind with your own campaigns, is start by working out the process and you can automate later. But what if you're B2B? What kind of ideas can you do to get your ideal client? So as a few examples, outreach. This is going direct to your ideal client. Things like LinkedIn, just connecting and messaging your ideal client, or the dreaded cold calling. It's the fastest way for you to just be speaking to your ideal customer. Another one, my favorite thing, because it's so universal, is quizzes and assessments. If you're a HR consultant, you might have a quiz that is, are you breaking the law when you take on an employee? Take our 2-minute quiz to find out. Or do you have everything you need to take on your first employee? Take our quiz to find out. If you're an accountant, it might be, are you overpaying in tax? Take our 2-minute assessment to find out. And these are just quick little assessments that have as many or as little questions as you like, but easy multiple choice, and then it collates all this information and can give people a score on what their results are. At 782, we've got one. In my mind, there's 4 different types of business owner, and each of those types of business owner have unique challenges. And we have a quiz that helps you understand which one you are, to see what challenges you've got, and gives you some ideas around how to get to the next stage. Quite cool. Thirdly, networking, going out to different events, whether you're speaking at them, just attending them, if you get the opportunity to stand up and do 60 seconds. You can infuse this with the previous idea. If you've got a business card, use the quiz or assessment as a QR code on that business card. But as you're getting to know people, follow up with them with that quiz or assessment. And the last one, events, running your own event, bringing your ideal client into a room to give them a presentation or whatever value you can offer them, but using the quiz or assessment as a call to action at the end of your talk. A few different ideas that you can apply if you're B2B. And the secret that I mentioned at the start of this video, that underlying thing that can have far more impact on your business. When we go through that, you'll see how you could apply that to those ideas I've just given you. So at the end, we'll cover that. So now that we've captured the leads, how are we going to book the meeting for our gardener on autopilot? Whew. Day 3, how do we book this meeting? Now our gardener needs a site visit. So if you're a tradesperson, you're probably exactly the same. You need to go to the home or the site in order to have a look around so you can quote. If you're B2B, it's more likely you just need a discovery call or grab a coffee, have a one-to-one to learn a bit about your ideal client. How do we get that in the calendar automatically? And this is where I'm going to tell you about that cool idea with the forms. So if you have a website or landing pages that you use in your marketing, think about this idea. If you have a contact form, now for our gardener, there's loads of qualifying questions they would love to ask someone. How often do they want a gardener? Have they had a garden before? How was that experience? What types of services are they looking for? But if we put a form on the landing page with all of those questions, a lot of people are going to be put off by that. So we need to make it as easy for them to interact with and quick and simple. Therefore, what we do is we do it in 2 forms. The first form is just name, email, phone, hometown. If you're B2B, you might put name, email, phone, business name. The second form is then once the first one is submitted, it comes up with like a thanks for submitting, would you like to jump the queue? And then has the second form where it's then got all of those questions that can be multiple choice or open for people to write details in. But the key is this is all of the things that you would want to know, or for our gardener that they'd want to know to qualify this person. And you do it separately because if they do give up on this second form, you've got their contact information so you can get in touch with them. Now for our gardener here, the goal is to get this inquiry on the phone. And we're either going to get them on the phone because they've submitted one of the forms or they've phoned us. If they filled out that second form, we've got all the information. The phone call just needs to be, when should our gardener pop by to have a look at their garden? Whereas if they're phoning and we haven't got the answers to form 2, it makes sense that we want to go through those questions on the phone so they can be filled out, submitted. And the great thing we can do nowadays to automate this entire process is with voice agents. So it's AI that can take those phone calls, have the conversation, ask those questions. And because we've got it in forms, it becomes a much simpler process of just getting the AI voice agent to go through the forms and ask all of those qualifying questions. And then we create a calendar for our gardener specific to the gaps that they have or the times and slots that they would be willing to go and visit gardens. So the voice agent can book it in with that prospect on the phone there and then. What that therefore means is our gardener just has appointments come up in their calendar. And you can apply the same thing if you're B2B. You want to get back to leads as soon as they inquire. While they're red hot, get on the phone to them, and with a voice agent it allows you to take those inbound calls or make them once someone's inquired. Now for our gardener, where I said that this is a small experiment for them to get started with, they're not going to be using a voice agent just yet. They're happy to take the phone calls themselves. They're only taking on a few clients at the moment, but once we've got that process and the forms and they understand how the questions work, they can then expand upon it. And consider that for your own business. If you're going to start building out these processes and automating them, you may want to start with something more basic and then evolve it in time. Now we've got a process that books in that appointment. What can we do between the booking and the appointment happening to build more trust and actually start selling to the prospect? Whew. Day 4, we've got our meeting booked. Now we want to build that trust and start selling before we even meet the prospect. And yes, I wear the same thing every day, and yes, I start my day with coffee every day. In the process that we build at 782, I love the idea of free emails going out to our prospect before we meet them. The first one, I call it a video FAQ. So it's all of the frequently asked questions. What we want to look at is what are all the questions that you get from prospects and what is all of the objections they would have. What we want to create is a landing page, and that's exactly what we've done for our gardener here. They've got a landing page of all those common questions they get, so they start positioning themselves as an expert to their prospect. We want to take each thing individually and make an individual video for each one. We don't want to put some big old video that's 15 minutes long because you're just asking too much from your prospect at that moment. They just booked the meeting with you and you want them to spend 15 minutes watching a video. Hell no. Individualized, so they're 30, 40, 60 seconds per video, and it makes it really easy to communicate. Here's the question, here's the video. And you can put a little description underneath if they want to read it. But the key thing is they're seeing the face of the business, they're building familiarity, and it's building trust. And then the short videos, they become bingeable. People scroll to see the question that they want the answer to, but then what it will lead to is more questions and then seeing all the other videos. So then you become the expert to them. Now the second email is about showcasing your skills or demonstrating the work that you've done. So in our gardener's case, we've got that landing page that we originally used with the QR code on the letters and leaflets. So we can reuse that to get them to have a look at it again. If you've got stuff, there's no reason you can't reuse it, but there can be a few different ways, but I'll go into our example of what we do at 782 after this. But the third email is then the confirmation. So this is just that final follow-up the day before to say you're good for tomorrow, and if you are a bit hectic, we can rearrange. You want people to be meeting you when they have got the time, and you don't want them to be distracted. Like, things do come up, family emergencies, work emergencies, and we don't want to be in the middle of that. Now I have a few rules about these emails. Firstly, the emails need to link together. So we want to ensure that it doesn't feel like spam. We want it to flow with each email. And the way that we do that is you end the first email by mentioning the second email that's going to be coming. The way I often phrase it is about having more information to send to them. It's much easier to do if you're B2B, which I'll explain in a second. Second rule is it needs to feel conversational. When you plan these emails out, think of it as if you're writing to a friend. Do not use some kind of like generic AI slop. Make it feel really human. And the last rule is make it really minimal. I never design these emails out, never make them look fancy. They always look really simple, as if I've just typed it quickly. And even little things like typos, sometimes it's good to leave them in because it looks really human and it far increases the chance of someone responding to that email. So if you are B2B, this is what we do at 782. The first email is about learning about the other person's business. So in 782, I ask someone to send me anything they have, their website or any other material that I can therefore research their business. And then I say, from us, here's a video FAQ page. And I end the first email by saying, I've got something else that I'll find a link and send it over. So then the second email arrives and it's literally our cool stuff we've built, landing page that just goes through examples of things we've built for ourselves and for our clients. And then the third one is that confirmation. The day before we're meeting, I check that they're all good for it, and then I put a link to a video, this video, which demonstrates exactly what we built. So what would yours be? What would you include in your free emails so that you can build a lot of trust and start getting your prospect in a buying mode before you even meet them? Because the key is you're answering all of their questions, you're overcoming all the objections, and the most important thing is they build familiarity with you. They've seen your face time and time again by this point. And in that last email, because they have spent all this time with you, you can put a longer form video, like 5, 10, 20 minutes. And that means that by the time you meet, they would have spent a lot of time with you. What if they don't open your emails? What if they don't look at them? Should you still meet the person? That all depends on your business. And there's a lot of tricks you can put in place to ensure that that doesn't happen. But that's a whole other video, or if you're curious, get in touch with us. What we've created now is this fully automated funnel that's capturing leads and warming up, booking in the meeting. But what was that underlying secret that I mentioned that's far more powerful than just getting new leads? We've done it, day 5. Let's find this underlying secret that's far more powerful at growing your business than getting new leads. What we've gone through in this video is that initial stage. They discover your business, you get the appointment. This is what people tell me about and want to focus on. I disagree. That's why when we build this process for people, we build all the way to the point that a customer signs up. Because new customers are great, but how do you document what you will do and what you will not do for your customer? But also, what if they do not pay on time? And worst of all, what if there's a disagreement? What if things don't go well and you end up in an argument with your customer? They're stating that you should have done something that you didn't do, and you're stating you did more than what you were supposed to do. Most of us have been here, especially if you've been in business for a few years, you would have experienced this at some point. And this is something that I've learned from purely by being burnt by it in the past because I haven't protected myself. This is why when we build someone's customer pipeline, we go all the way from the start where someone learns your business and becomes a lead, all the way through to them signing up as a client, having things like your quotes, your terms and conditions signed by the client. Because if you're anything like me, you've gone through the process of thinking, I need to protect my business, I need terms and conditions, clients need to sign the documents and everything, so before we even start, they've signed everything off. And yet time and time again, I will break that rule. So therefore, we've automated it so that we do not start work until a customer has signed the agreement with full terms and conditions that states what we will do, what we won't do, and consequences if the things that they're supposed to be doing aren't followed up with. Therefore, the business is protected, our customers protected, and importantly, we're protected. However, that is only half of the secret. One half is protect your bloody business. The other half is that there is this massive pot of gold in your business and it is not new leads. Ask yourself this, does every single client know every single service that you offer? If you have been in business 5, 10, 15, 20 years, does every single client that you have ever worked with know every single service that you offer? Because if you're unsure, there's a whole process we created. I call it the aftercare funnel, but it's just this process of how you go back to all your existing clients time and time again without spamming them, but helping them see all the problems that you solve so that they buy more from you. Because ultimately what that will do with all of this is then you've got at the bottom, you've got this process of upselling and cross-selling all your other services. So every single client you get is worth more to your business and they're more profitable. Then the customer journey, you've got this predictable journey where you answer all your prospects' questions and overcome all of their objections. And then they sign an agreement, all automated by the time they start with you. So that becomes much easier to close and convert people. And then at the top, you've now got easier systemized ways to capture leads. But while everyone focuses on the top of this, it's these foundational layers that are going to make this much easier and much more profitable for your business. Imagine capturing all these leads, but not having this backup system to support it. You're not going to get customers spending as much money with you and they're not going to convert as well. But by having this in place, you get all these new leads are going into this efficient system that's going to make you a load more money. Ultimately, it means your clients spend more money with you, prospects are easier to close, and clients are easier to find. Now, I have 2 tasks for you. The first one is, who do you want to succeed in business? Who of your friends, colleagues, associates are you most excited about and want to support them more than anything? Send them the link to this video. If someone has sent this to you, bear that in mind. This person has sent it to you because they want to see you absolutely smash it and succeed in your goals. Whenever you have a tough day, remember that you've got at least one person that has got your back and they're there to help you. So if you need someone to pick up the phone and have a bit of a conversation and a bit of a heart-to-heart about business, it's probably the person you want to speak to. Secondly, if you're curious to see the results of this gardeners campaign that we've been talking about, then make sure you subscribe. Oh, and obviously if you want this system in your business, then get in touch.